How's it guys, this is Davey FPL and welcome back to another video here on my channel. This week's going to be the Gameweek 29 review along with the Gameweek 30 preview. And I'm also going to add a little bit of advice for Gameweek 31 and 32 and 33, the Blank and Double Gameweeks coming up, as they're becoming a little bit too hard to ignore as they're just on the horizon of Gameweek 30. But it's also a very exciting time in the FPL season as we're all going to be using our chips. Even if you don't have your chips, it's an exciting time with those doubles. So let's just get right onto this video. In terms of Gameweek 29, my team got 43, which was above the average of 40, but unfortunately was below the average of the top 1k, which was in 44. Which saw me have a little bit of a red arrow about 50 places, and we are now ranked at 438th in the world. Not terrible. I'm quite happy with this rank at this time of the season before the doubles and the blanks, as I feel that we're going to be making up a lot of points and a lot of places now with these chips in place. So overall, not a great game week, but not an amazing one at all. Red arrow is never good, but this was quite a good game week not to have that great of a score, as the average was quite low. In terms of the transfers that I made, I ended up not making any transfers. I know in the last video I spoke about bringing in David Luiz for Wan-Bissaka. I opted not for that move as I kind of wanted a little bit more time to think about the move and kind of open the doors for bigger moves this week with the two free transfers. I'll talk about all the transfers in the Gameweek 30 preview later on in the video. So I'm just going to kind of give you 3 pointers as to why I think I did not do well this game week. I kind of think them, but I kind of think these are cemented observations and thoughts of this game week. The first being my captain not firing, the second option being my differential picks not firing, and the third option was using my subs quite badly this game week. To go into more detail on what I mean, the first one is obviously Sterling missed out on getting returns. He only got that clean sheet point for a total of 3. I don't really know what to say about the Bournemouth fixture. I know that Bournemouth kind of didn't do anything in the game except for defend. I don't even think they ended up with a shot on target. They, however, did kind of put the haters to bed on the defensive stats a little bit, as everyone kind of was ridiculing Bournemouth for their poor defense, and then they go and only concede 1 to Man City at home. So not too bad. However, I do think that Man City were not on their sharpest form in that game. Even Sterling, I do believe that he didn't look his average alerted self. I believe that if he had a little bit of more concentration in that game, he could have ended up bagging a goal or two. I know that Boric made a good save on one of his shots, so credit to Boric for that save. Quite disappointed with Sterling, but with the other captaincy option of Pogba scoring -1, not too bad in the end. In terms of my differential picks, I'm mainly talking about Mane and Arnautovic. They were my differential picks in the top 1k, not really owned that much. Mane the most with about 25% if I recall correctly. They didn't get any returns, but we'll go more into them in the review. And then I didn't use my subs correctly. As you can see, I have Digne on the bench with 7, and I have Doherty with 1. The reason Doherty had 1, even though Wolves kept a clean sheet, was obviously that he was benched. And when I'm talking about using my subs correctly, there was a lot of news coming before the deadline that Doherty and a lot of other Wolves senior players would be benched or rested for the upcoming FA Cup games and the Chelsea fixture. So I didn't really believe them, and I kind of went for the risk, and I thought that Doherty against Cardiff was a definite clean sheet. I was right that the Wolves did keep a clean sheet, but obviously Doherty didn't play. In retrospect, I probably should have played Digne when the news came out that he was going to be benched. I just kind of thought that, hey, it's Cardiff, maybe he comes on and gets a goal or an assist. That won't be too bad. But in future, I definitely will believe those Wolves sources, as they have been correct over the past couple game weeks. So that's kind of the main reasons that I did get a red arrow. But let's go on to more of the reason why the red arrow wasn't that large. I ended up with a Fabianski clean sheet, which I was quite happy about. Again, I played Button. Some people are a little bit confused as why I'm playing him in my starting lineup. It's mainly just because Brighton had a very good fixture. They also did keep a clean sheet, but obviously Button didn't play. This week I'll be playing Fabianski as he is the better fixture. I'm just keep on playing Button as if there is a chance that Ryan does get injured, at least I have that better fixture in my starting 11. Then we have Wan-Bissaka with 5 points, played very well. Was actually very disappointed with him, even though he did score 5 points, which is great, as he was on for about a 12-point haul, but then Crystal Palace go and concede in the 90th minute, which wasn't too great. So I missed out on some points there. Was quite disappointed as I don't think many people played Wan-Bissaka this game week, so would have had some differential points there, but can't complain about a 5-pointer. He would have got 6, but he ended up picking up a yellow card. Then, as I said, we had Doherty with 1 point, Robbo with 5 points. He did end up picking up a yellow card, which kind of cost them in the defensive bonus points division. I know Trent ended up getting 9, and I think Van Dijk got 8. So overall, the worst defender to have kind of in the Liverpool lineup. I'm excusing him for this game week though, as he has returned massive points for me in the past. Then we have Salah with 3, just the clean sheet points. Sterling with 3, as I said. Pogba with -1. Mane with 3. Jimenez with 12, proving that he's absolute gold again for FPL. Arnautovic with 1 point, and I just want to talk about Arnie a little bit. It's a little bit worrying for me that he's not starting, but he is fit. I kind of think that Hernandez has almost won that spot. I don't really know. I just think that Arnie's such a great option, and when he comes on, he always looks a certain goal threat. So probably will be keeping onto him for the future games. Then we have Rondon with 2. Rondon I'm very disappointed with. Obviously, Barnes scored the goal, who was the other option to bring in, but Rondon doesn't really seem to be firing at the moment. So I'll talk about him a little bit in my transfers. Then we have Yedlin, another player I'm worried about, as this is the second game week now that he's been benched. Seems that Benitez prefers Mankio. A little bit of tactical advantage there. Apparently he's better in the air, and Yedlin has been a little bit hit or miss over the past. Maybe the loss will bring Yedlin back into the team. Then we have Richarlison with 1 point and Digne with 7, who I've spoken about. Now if we go on to my transfer plans, I've kind of just brought up these little 3 tabs about the potential options, so I'm just going to go and talk about them a little bit. So with preparing for Game Week 31 and getting 11 players out on the pitch, I am considering 3 moves that are almost certain to happen. The first being probably Richarlison out, Sterling out, and Wan-Bissaka out. Obviously, I won't be taking Sterling out yet, as he has a home fixture to Watford, and then I will be removing him next game week. So the player that I'll be looking to bring him in is Hazard. That's a certain move that you'll see as a consistency throughout the 3 transfer plans. Richarlison out for either Maddison or Brooks, and then Wan-Bissaka out for either premium defender like Luiz, or bringing in a budget option like Nathaniel Klein from Bournemouth. Then the other option you'll see is maybe taking out Rondon for a hit. So if you go here and look at the transfer plans, the first option is being Hazard in, Maddison in, and David Luiz in. I will just space these transfers out over the 2 game weeks, as I do have 2 free ones now. Probably looking at bringing Maddison in, and then the following game week bringing Luiz and Hazard in. Then the second option is this. Both these options now will be for a -4 hit. So we'll be bringing Hazard in for Sterling, Brooks in for Richarlison, and then bringing in Vardy in for Rondon. I just think Vardy is looking a great option, and especially with the fixtures coming up of Fulham and Burnley away, and then having Huddersfield in that second blank. So the reason this transfer is looking a little bit more likely is that I do prefer Vardy over Rondon. I think Rondon's kind of I accept that it was quite a bad transfer. I think quite a hasty one with the Rashford injury. So that's definitely someone I'm looking at bringing in. This transfer probably will result in me bringing in Brooks this game week along with Vardy with the 2 free transfers, and then bringing in Hazard and Klein for a hit next game week. Then the third option is bringing in David Luiz, then Brooks, Hazard, and Vardy. This would be Vardy for Arnie. It just gives me kind of a little bit more money in the bank to do David Luiz. The only worrying thing is that this gives me no money in the bank, so if price rises do occur, then I can't really make this transfer. I don't really like this set, as if Arnautovic wins his place back, he has some nice upcoming fixtures, and I think that Arnie's a better option than Rondon for the future. So that's basically my transfer thoughts, obviously with preparation for the blanks and the doubles coming up. Then in terms of my team for this game week, I will be starting Fabianski straight away. No playing David Button and hoping that he plays. And then currently I have Digne in for Yedlin, just because of Yedlin's benching worries. Then I have Robbo versus Huddersfield and Wan-Bissaka versus Brighton, which both look very good fixtures. I have Mane and Salah versus Burnley, and then Arsenal for Pogba, which is not the worst fixture in the world. Arsenal are playing a little bit better recently, but I still favour him to score, and hopefully the injury worries aren't doing Man United too badly. Then I have Sterling against Watford at home, currently my captain, mainly just because last time Liverpool played Watford it was 5-0, so I imagine hopefully City will be the same type of scoreline, and then I'm hoping that Sterling definitely plays in that game. Then we have Arnie versus Cardiff, just hoping he plays, as that's a great fixture, mainly due to the news coming out today that Bamba has pulled his ACL and will be out for the rest of the season, so very unfortunate for him. He was a great player for that Cardiff defense, and that's just mainly the reason I think that Cardiff defense is going to struggle a little bit in the future. Then we have Rondon versus Everton and Jimenez versus Chelsea. The lineup could change, as I said, taking into account the potential transfers I make. This might switch around, so follow me on Twitter for updates on that. I'm also be talking about what transfers I make on there, and then also I'll post the team before the deadline on Saturday on my YouTube community page. So just to wrap it up a little bit here, we unfortunately had a red arrow that took us to 438th in the world. Still happy with the rank though, and hopefully we can push up in the future game weeks. But basically this is going to wrap up the video, so please like it if you like the video and are looking forward to more FPL content, and also subscribe if you're new. Or if you haven't subscribed yet. I saw the percentage for the subscribers dropped a little bit again to 30%, so just get those numbers back up, and that then we'll be looking great on the subscriber count. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter. It'll be the first link in the description, and I'll be signing off. This has been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.